The integrated review is the first comprehensive review carried out by the British government since the Cold War to shape and guide the UK's post-Brexit policies on defense, security, development, and foreign policy. The review is titled Global Britain in a Competitive Age. It was released on the 16th of March 2021, and it is 111 pages long. In addition to the review, it's important to read alongside the Integrated Review's Defense Ministry publication, which is titled Defense in a Competitive Age, which was released a week later and comprises 69 pages of text and annexures. First time, both these reviews formally declared a post-Brexit foreign policy tilt towards the Indo-Pacific region. This has never happened before. This tilt has been based on reasons of economy, as the Indo-Pacific is the world's growth engine, on reasons of security, to preserve freedom of navigation in a region of intensifying geopolitical competition and potential flashlights, and for reasons of values, to promote, in a sense, open societies and to uphold international rules and norms. The UK, in fact, now in a post-Brexit policy, seeks to deepen its engagement in the Indo-Pacific with key Indo-Pacific partners. Integrated Review recognizes India as one of the most important powers in the Indo-Pacific, along with China and Japan. All three countries are described as having widely differing characteristics and relationships with the UK. The Defense Review goes further by stating that the UK's partnership with India is a key pillar of the UK's tilt to the Indo-Pacific. The Integrated Review also recognizes India as the largest democracy in the world and as an international actor of growing importance. An area of priority engagement for the UK is an enhanced trade partnership agreement with India as a stepping stone towards comprehensive trade deal, which is expected in the next few years. The UK's officially stated objective, therefore, in relation to India, is to transform bilateral cooperation over the next 10 years across the full range of bilateral shared interests. The UK-India leadership is also to jointly tackle global challenges like climate change, energy, and global health. This is very important because while presenting the review, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, in a highly symbolic gesture, announced to Parliament that he looked forward to visiting India in April 2021. This, in effect, will be the first step in the implementation of the UK's Integrated Review's objective of transforming cooperation with India. This will also symbolize his first visit to the Indo-Pacific, visibly demonstrating the UK's tilt to the region. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi have agreed to seek a quantum leap in bilateral relations. 4 key pillars of cooperation have been identified as health, trade and investment, defense and security, and climate change. During Boris Johnson's visit to India, an enhanced trade partnership agreement will be signed, along with a 10-year bilateral roadmap, and defense cooperation is to be strengthened with a Defense Logistics Memorandum of Understanding. India will, I think, welcome the UK's tilt towards the Indo-Pacific for 2 major reasons. The first is that for the first time, the UK firmly places India within the broader geographical construct of the Indo-Pacific, rather than within the traditional geographic framework and constraints of South Asia, which India has longed to go beyond in view of its own engagement with the world as a rising great power. Secondly, UK defense policy firmly recognizes India as a key pillar of the UK's tilt to the Indo-Pacific, with greater focus on bilateral cooperation with India on maritime security and the stability and security of the Indian Ocean, especially the western part of the Indian Ocean. I think there are 4 key challenges in relation to the UK's integrated review and its impact on India. The first is that the integrated review simply outlines a framework for the UK's tilt towards the Indo-Pacific. I believe this will need to be developed and expanded as a full-fledged policy towards the Indo-Pacific region, as other European countries such as France, Germany, and the Netherlands have already done. Secondly, the manner in which the UK is able to operationalize its multi-layered engagement with China as a systemic challenge and systemic competitor while seeking cooperation on climate change will be closely watched in New Delhi. Indeed, in July 2020, the British government had expressed strong concern over China's assertive actions against India in the Galwan Valley. The third challenge will be competition. And here I mean competition from India's other strategic partners. It should be remembered that the UK's policy towards the Indo-Pacific is not taking place in a vacuum. For the past 4 years, while the UK has sought to overcome the political wranglings over its exit from the European Union, Brexit, countries like Japan, Australia, and France, alongside the US, have deepened their strategic engagement with India. And finally, the key challenge will be to ensure sufficient funding for the policies and plans for the new global Britain in the Indo-Pacific and its elevated strategic partnership with India. High profile and early wins for both countries within the next year or so will be crucial. This also takes place at a time when the UK proudly champions an international order in which democracies flourish, amidst international criticism over the dilution of India's democratic norms and traditions.